everyone, and welcome to Aussies Do Down Under homeschool season. As you're aware, I now have one daughter in mainstream school and one son in homeschool. So today I'm going to be comparing homeschool versus mainstream school. Stick around. So hey guys, it is about 6:30 in the morning. I've been awake for a while just laying in bed, and I was thinking to myself, what better than to do a homeschool versus private school? Because as you know, or you might be aware, that my daughter just recently went back to school. So I've got one in private school, one in homeschool, and I thought I'll show you a little bit of the difference. Not that I can show you much from the school perspective, but I'm going to show you from a home perspective and how that's changed our home and our environment and how we go about things each day. Some things are definitely easier and some things have been a challenge, including the morning routine, which I always hated and I still do. Now, before I get started, I just wanted to thank all my new subscribers who have jumped on board this week. If you haven't yet or you're new here, please hit that subscribe button down below. I'd love to have you on board. And a shout out to all my old subscribers who have been here from the beginning as well. So thank you all. But let's get started. So the first part of my day usually involves opening everything up because I love fresh air. And also I like to go and feed all my animals and wake the kitties up. So let's go. So I just thought I'd show you my Chrissy tree. My daughter and I put it up on the weekend, although I got her to do most of the work. I'm trying to let go of perfectionism when it comes to Christmas trees, and I'm sure there's people out there who can relate. Watching your children put decorations on a Christmas tree, it used to be really hard for me because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I liked everything to be really evenly spaced. You know, to not have two things of the same right beside each other. You know, it's very funny. My son showed me a meme one time about Christmas mums, and it was hilarious because I was so similar to that. But I am trying to let go, so I do let them do most of the work. I do the lights because I always feel like I need to do the lights to make sure they're actually working. But there's that. I am going to do a video in a few weeks on Christmas fun and homeschooling, so look forward to that, and I hope you can watch. Let's do it. So I usually go and turn the lights on for the kids just to give them a soft awakening, and then I'll go and do the animals. So look at that room. Hunter. Sienna. I didn't.
No, you did.
I said Hunter.
Why are you recording your messy room?
Darling, if I didn't record your messy room, I'd never record your room at all. Look at this room.
Hug me!
So Hunter starts every single day of his life with the words hug me, which, albeit super cute, can be slightly annoying when you're in a rush. But considering we've got time today, I'm going to give him a hug.
Hug me.
So first I have to open his blind, let the sun in. Aww. Light my ride on mower. Lots of fun.
Hello viewers.
Oh, you have air. Oh, Oreo's trying to get up. Get down, Oreo. You can't get up to that. You want to get up? Okay, come on. Oh, Oreo's trying to get up.
Comment down below.
Oreo's trying to get up to Hunter.
Hey viewers, comment down
Whoa.
below.
It's hard to get up with a dog.
Then
Sorry.
you shouldn't bring the dog, that's dangerous.
It is dangerous. Oh, you could help me get the
Comment down below if mum's dangerous.
dog. Dangerous. Hunter has a loft bed. It's very tall. Do you want the doggy to say hello?
I'm sure. But I also need to talk. Hello, viewers. Lovely to see you. I'm always creepy.
Do you want to cuddle the doggy?
Yes, but I also want to cuddle you.
Alright, so I'll put the doggy down because I can't hold both. Snuggy boy. Time for coffee.
No time for you guys to comment. What are your
No,
last
stop it.
Please comment.
Child with a bone.
Please.
Okay. I usually turn some fans on as well because I like I like fresh air. Everything gets opened. You do not want to see this room. It is so messy. My house is so messy. I am determined to clean it. Oh, I can hear a meow meow. Meow meow. Hey Charlie. Hey Charlie, what you doing? Even Charlie has a bedroom. I'm going to put the coffee on. My favorite part of the day. Check out my toy. Here's my new toy. Well, it's not really new. I had it at the other house, but I just got it as we were moving. I think it's my favorite toy. I am a little bit of a coffee crazy person. You know, I do like my coffee. So it has a little milk dispenser. It's a prima donna DeLonghi. It basically does everything for you, so I couldn't be happier. I just turn it on, I pop the milk in, put the froth to where I want it. It has three different levels of froth. It goes through its little warm-up routine, which is usually when I open windows. Morning! Very noisy out there, there's lots of critters. And then on here, hang on. I gotta put my glass under. I've got these beautiful glasses from DeLonghi that came with the kit. And they're cool to touch because they're dual layered. I think you can see that. So I pop that under. Press my cappuccino mix. And Bob's your uncle. Look at that. That is just beautiful. Time for my favorite part of the day. So that's my beautiful DeLonghi machine. It tells me when my machine needs emptying. It tells me when it needs to be cleaned, and it tells me when I need to add water. So very clever machine. Oh, meow meow. Meow meow. Look, I still have boxes, guys. How long's it been? A couple of months? I still have boxes. Meow meow. Ooh, God, that's good. I better go and open up the rest of the house. So this is Hunter's box fort, as he calls it. He made this yesterday. Cut out some windows, cut out a door. He's ready to go. Hey puppy, you want to go in the box fort? Want to go in the box fort? No? So Hunter. So Sienna brings me her bag for school and for all her food, and I will unpack it. Sometimes it's disgusting in here, so I need her to unpack it, but we'll have a look, see how we go today, and then I'll repack it with some new goodies. So I've made my daughter's lunch. I have my second coffee. It just gets better, doesn't it? Look at all my boxes. Boxes. I hate boxes, but I've still got them. Yeah, kids love boxes. It just means I've got more. That was the dog scaring the cat. It just means I have more work to do. So I've done my daughter's thing. I now have to take my plethora of pills. I have a disease they believe called scleritis of my eye, which is usually means an underlying autoimmune disease of some sort. Nothing scary or anything like that. Well, not in my case anyway. Hopefully. I think something called sarcoidosis. I'm learning. It's new. Okay, so I'm going to take my steroids and my tummy fixer and then get on with my day. And I'm going to show you another toy. So we're going to show you our next toy that we bought on the weekend. But I must admit, we really love it, don't we?
Yeah, I really like it. It's really nice.
And it's fun. And the kids can do it themselves. So I'm sure many of you out there have these, but it's new for us. So we thought, now we spend a lot of money on soda water in this family. A lot of money. Are you right there?
I hate soda water.
Yeah, but he likes fizzy drinks. So not very good for you usually.
Hey, they're flavors.
And always best to get the sugar-free if you can. But let's show you. So, what we used to buy is sparkling mineral water. But then we thought, well, we do buy it a lot, so let's try and see which one's more cost efficient. So what we do is, just a side tip, to make it so it's cold every time, just have some bottles of water in the fridge ready to go. So then you just pour it into this one, bubble it up, and there you have it, it's already cold, rather than then putting it in the fridge and waiting for it to get cold. And also, if you have the potential and if you can, use filtered water because it's going to taste a little bit nicer and cleaner.
I agree, because the thing is, it tastes better all the time when it's cold.
Yeah.
But if you bubble it and then you put it in the fridge, it gets rid of some of the bubbles and gets rid of some of the flavor.
Yeah.
So it's better to make it cold before.
So Hunter's going to show you how we bubble it up.
Bubbles.
Oopsie.
You said fill it the whole way, so I filled it. Why does she need?
Alright, so we are back after our slight technical difficulty.
Yep.
Called Hunter.
Hello, I'm a different.
So there you go. We've made SodaStream. Tell them what you think, Hunter. Have a sip. Give them the...
Too much flavor, who knows? But I like flavor. I love it.
Nothing like a bit of sugar in the morning. So our morning routine is usually wrapped around getting ready, getting dressed, making sure we've got everything for school, making sure we're in the right uniform. There's 2 uniforms. So sport uniform and formal uniform. So a lot of it is making sure you're in the right one, especially because we're new, we're not used to the routine. So we're always sort of going, oh, is it the right uniform? That's another thing. So let's go drop Sienna off. So we're on the way to drop off Sienna to school, which is just around the corner but takes a while because there's lots of traffic. So what could be a 10-minute drive ends up being 15-20 minutes in the morning with
My puppy.
with your puppy and with school traffic and peak hour traffic. Are you happy to be back at school?
Yeah, it's cool.
Hunter's killing a toy in the back seat, which is a bit of all the toys killing Hunter, one or the other.
I have to go now. Goodbye.
See you, baby girl. Have fun.
Just
having a little bit of a fight with a rigadoon. Comment down below if you remember what a rigadoon was, and if you had one, because that's my rigadoon from when I was a kid, and I loved it. I'm sure there's others out there who had a rigadoon. So we just dropped Sienna off. Now we're going to go home and start our own day. Usually, or not usually at all actually, sometimes I stop at Woolworths along the way, which is a supermarket chain in Australia for all those people who are not in Australia, and grab a couple of things if I need them, which is I've got to grab cat food because my cat's going to kill me if I don't feed him soon. And then we'll go home and start our day. Yay school! Say yay school!
Yay school!
Hunter is beating up my rigadoon. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Now I'm going to do an H3, and now the page title, or whatever your item is.
Do I put capital letters or non-capital letters here?
Up to you. So Hunter is actually doing 2 hours of coding online with a girl called Laura. That is from a company called Coding Kids. They do it online, so if you've got a homeschool kid who you want to do coding and you have no idea, then they're a great resource. Now there's plenty of companies out there, so there's definitely going to be one in your area. I noticed heaps of them when I was looking. So we've just had these guys for a while. Sienna and Hunter used to do it together. You've probably heard me speak about it in another episode. But Sienna's back at school, so now she's doing this. Now, quick note, when she was at school the other day and they were doing coding, apparently she said, well, I was way ahead of everyone else. So it's really good. They enjoy it. They want to do it. It's exciting for them. They learn how to do, set up a website. They learn how to code games and all that sort of thing. So look, it's out of my league, but they really enjoy it, and it's a good resource to have, and it's really good for their future to get them into coding. So all good. So I'm going to use these 2 hours to work and to get my house in order, because my house is a pigsty, and particularly where I work is a pigsty. It's just gotten away from me. I've got paperwork everywhere. So I'm going to spend the next 2 hours first cleaning my office, and then the next hour actually working. So I've got to pay a lot of bills, I've got to organize things, I've got shipments coming from all sorts of places. So I'm going to get onto it, and I'll see you soon. So hey again guys, well it is 2:45 in the afternoon, and Hunter and I have come to pick up Sienna from school. We come a little bit earlier so that we can get a car park, because like most schools it's very hard, so that's something new that we have to get used to. And Hunter's worked really hard, so he's in the back being weird as usual and playing with his iPad. He's worked super hard today. We've been doing a lot of sciencey stuff. We're doing science fair, just as a little teaser, because I'm going to bring next week's video is all about science fair, so stay tuned for that one. But today what we've done, you saw that we dropped off Sienna in the morning, we got ready, we then went home and did our work that we do. I did a little bit of work while Hunter did some coding, and now we've come to pick Sienna up. So we've got to rush. Oh, my doggy, she's so cute. You're so cute. Now we've got to pick Sienna up and rush home, because we have 2 tutors coming, one for Sienna and one for Hunter straight away. And then we've got to come back to Sienna's school for speech night, is it? I think it's speech night. So they finish on this Friday, I think. And it's speech night for, I think is it the whole school? I think it's the whole school. Anyway, I'll tell you later what it was for, but we're going to come back for that later on, and then that will be our day done. So that's just one day down, but we've got more to come. See you soon.
Hey guys, we're back and in the car.
We are in the car. We have Sienna and Hunter. We're on the way to Sienna's school. We're dropping her off for our last day of term and last day of the year.
Sienna seems very happy.
Sienna's having a big class party today, so we've got to stop. Oh, I better remember to stop. We've got to stop and get some drinks. That's her contribution for the class party. And we also have a house party. So we're going to stop and do that. Then I'm going to drop off Sienna and then Sunter. I just called my son Sunter. And Sunter and I are going to go back home and cram some work because we're a little bit behind and we've only got 2 weeks to finish it, or 1.5 weeks to finish it all. I did do a video a couple of weeks back on how to cram in all your homeschool work if you're behind and you don't have enough time left in the year. So I will put a link to that somewhere here for you. If you're interested in ideas on how to get all your work done and you're running out of time, go there. Great video on some ideas in that department. Now we're just going to go and run in and grab some drinks for Sienna and we'll be back. So while the kids are inside grabbing a drink, I thought I'd take a moment to tell you about something that I've kind of noticed or realised over this term, because it's the 4th term, we're just about to have Christmas, and Sienna going to school has given me a little bit of a realisation, I suppose. When your child goes to school, mainstream school, what happens is that they have all these activities, especially at the end of the year for Christmas, or just the end of the year celebrations to celebrate their year, that are fun. You know, they have these sporting awards, they have these class parties, they have, well, for Sienna, who's finishing grade 6, they had grade 6 graduation, they have ceremonies, you know, they make things. There's a lot of fun activities. And when she was deciding whether to go this term or not, you know, I said, well, if you're going to go back, this is the term to do it because it's where all the fun sort of things. But then it occurred to me, when you're homeschooling, and if you're not part of a homeschool group, you can find yourself in a situation where you're not doing these things. So it's given me that insight into, you don't want your children to miss out on certain things, especially like this. Sorry, the kids have come back for a second time because they can't work out what they want. I have told you before, my daughter suffers from anxiety problems, but sometimes it's worse than others. So she's stressing out because she has to take a drink to school for this party. She's stressing out what to take. Anyway, so what I've realized is that if you're a homeschool family, you may miss out on these sort of special occasion activities that they do at school. So I'm thinking, okay, so how do you rectify that? So my daughter had a grade 6 graduation, but because my son is not at school, I wasn't even thinking of a grade 6 graduation. You know, it didn't even occur to me to celebrate. And look, it might be just me. Maybe all of you are going, what the? Of course you're going to celebrate it. But no, it didn't even occur to me to celebrate the fact that my children were finishing grade 6. I was so enthralled in the idea of their starting year 7. I was like egging them on for that I forgot that they've just had a milestone. So my thought process is that I need to do something to celebrate the end of the year, the end of grade 6, and my next week of school, other than cramming in what we haven't done with math and English, is going to be centered around fun activities to celebrate their end of grade 6. And then at the end of that, I mean, we can't do a ceremony like Sienna had at school, but I can take them out for dinner to a really nice place. They can choose. I'll get Hunter to choose because, you know, he hasn't had his ceremony. And I was thinking what I would do is actually do him up a certificate, and make him a certificate and give him that at the dinner. And I'll do one for Sienna as well, even though she got one from school, just to say congratulations for finishing year 6, and good luck for the future of doing year 7. So that was just a thought I've had, and I thought I might share that with you. Now, if you are a member of one of these homeschool groups, I'm sure they must do these sort of things at the end of the year anyway. And that's something you may want to think about. If you don't feel like your child's getting enough of these fun activities, it might be really prudent to join one of those groups, because then they're going to get that, and they've got all those kids there, and there's a more organized sort of aspect to it. If you are someone like me who works a lot and I don't really have time to join those sort of groups, and I'm sure there's others out there like me, then these are some of the things you need to think about, because you don't want your children to miss out. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I thought it might help someone out there if I shared that, and I'm going to see what the kids are doing. So we're at Sienna's school and we're saying goodbye for her last day of grade 6.
Yep. Okay.
How excited are you? Say yay! Say bye everybody for my last day!
See ya.
We'll see you soon. Let's get back to it. So Hunter and I are now going home. We're going to do some math. And we're going to do some science. Yay, science! And what else are we going to do?
We must check on petri dishes.
Petri dishes. Oh, and plants. So that's our day. We may come and see you again later. Ciao! Some of the differences are now that I'm a little bit more rushed. I've got a timetable that I need to keep with my daughter. She has to be certain places at certain times and I need to pick her up at certain times. Next year, I think that when she's in high school, she said she may use the bus, so that may help a little bit. She can bring herself home. The bus stop is literally at our gate, so awesome. Maybe not all the time, but she'll definitely use the bus sometimes. Some of the other little things I've noticed would include drumming, for instance. We used to do drumming at the same time all the time. Now with drumming, Hunter does it during the day. I then have to, I literally go from home, school, we take Hunter to drumming, we go back to pick up Sienna, and then we pick her up and go straight back to drumming and then come home from there. So drumming day is pretty full on after school. We've sort of got a lot of car movement, which I hate doing car movement, but look, it is what it is. Another thing I've really noticed and don't really like is uniforms. I'm always washing uniforms, and the worst part about a uniform is the socks. If there's anything I can suggest if your child goes back to school is get lots of socks, because for some reason socks just disappear. And my daughter, as you've seen her room sometimes, is a bit of a grub, so she leaves things everywhere, and I find socks behind doors, under things, down the bed, everywhere. So I would suggest get lots of socks. Another thing about uniforms is that schools tend to have 2 uniforms. Some of them have 3, but at least 2, a sports uniform and a formal uniform. So you're always having to think which one you need to do, which I'm not used to. And sometimes she needs to wear her formal but change into her sports uniform. So I do suggest you have at least a couple of each, because you spend your life washing and organizing uniforms. As for time differences, well, as you saw, my mornings are a little bit more rushed because I've got to get Sienna to school at a particular time. That's fine. We sort of get out and then Hunter and I come back and we have more time. So the thing is, when you have 2 children homeschooling, you tend to take a bit more time actually doing the homeschooling because you've got 2 interests to take into consideration. When my daughter's gone back to school, I've sort of handballed a little bit of that to the school. So now when she's gone, I just have to concentrate on Hunter's education, which means Hunter and I seem to get through things a lot quicker because it's just us, and I don't have to worry about 2 kids. I've just got the one. So time, it's rushed in the morning and in the afternoon, but during the day when we're homeschooling is a lot easier with just one child. Adding to this fact is the fact that Hunter is a little bit more settled, I've noticed, without Sienna here, because he's got no one to play off, no one to sort of be crazy class clown to. So I do find I get a lot more done with him because he's not trying to be, out there and all over the place. I did notice sports. My daughter is doing a lot of sports at school, which is really good. I suppose we did lack that at home. She did do tennis. Hunter was doing taekwondo, but he sort of lost interest. My kids aren't the most sporty kids, and for me, who's not a sporty parent either, it's hard for me to sort of do a lot of sports or get interest to do a lot of sports. So I do suggest they do a lot of sports at school, a lot. So I do suggest if you are homeschooling, really consider that, because that movement all the time, every day doing something is really important. So that is a day in the life of our homeschool versus mainstream school. I suppose it's okay. We're getting through. It's fine. Some things are easier, some things are harder. That rushing around is harder, but you know, the homeschool part with Hunter and I is probably easier. So if you do have, you know, a group of kids and one of them or a couple of them want to go to school and the other couple want to do homeschooling, then it's definitely doable. I mean, yes, you're going to have to make sort of changes and some things are going to be a little bit harder, but it is a doable thing. You know, you don't have to have all doing one or all doing the other. So that's it, guys. If you've liked this video, please hit the like button down below. And if you haven't yet or you are new here, please hit the subscribe button. Great to have you on board. I will have a new video next week, but until then, see you later.